What's going on, successors? What's going on? What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Speak Your Success. Today is Thursday and it's March 27th. And every Thursday, you know what that means. That means it's time for Thursday Night Showdown. All right. You're in for a great show tonight. Y'all, we have a special guest that we're gonna bring on a little bit early today. But y'all know, we got producer Britt. She about to get into what she saw scrolling. But also tonight, we're about to have on Mr. Cam Scott. He's a former collegiate basketball player, and he played at Xavier University down there in Louisiana. And then he turned from hooper to marketing entrepreneur and founder of VidPort Media, VidPort Sports, and the Athlete Creator Lab. So we're in for a great show tonight. Now, producer Britt, come on out. Come on out, producer Britt. Come on. Come on.
Hey,
How we feeling? How we feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. You know, it's
Okay.
March. It's winding down. My birthday's coming up, y'all.
Come
My
on,
birthday's
birthday.
coming up.
Come on, birthday.
Yeah, I'm excited. So, yeah, but 4 more days of Women's History Month. Sad day.
Mm,
But yeah,
okay.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah,
Fair enough. 4 more
yeah.
days of Women's History Month. What? Cherry Blossom Month.
Oh,
Uh,
nutritional month.
nutritional,
Nutritional month.
nutritional month.
Yep.
March Madness month. You know, we
March
go on and
Madness,
on.
that's true. I haven't been keeping up with the games. I need to get back in it. I know some of those games I talked about earlier in the week, they start tonight. Yeah, there's
And
games on
Duke,
tonight.
I think Duke won. I think Duke just won because I was watching somewhere when I was out to eat. Saw Duke won.
Mmm.
So hey, March Madness full effect. Women's
Yeah.
basketball full effect as well. So
Yeah.
all right.
All right.
Producer Britt, kicking you to
Okay.
rock. Let me
So,
drop it down.
oh my gosh, I can't. So, this I'm gonna do what I saw scrolling a little different. So, Jonathan introduced our guest, Cam Scott. So, I'm gonna go ahead and bring him out. Welcome to
Come
the
on.
show, Cam.
What's going on? Thank you guys for having me. Thank you. Thank you.
For
Yes,
sure,
yes, for
man.
sure.
Glad to have you on. And it only makes sense. It's March
Mhm.
Madness. You a former hooper. It just producer Britt. It just makes sense. It
It
just
just
makes
makes
sense. So
sense. Just
welcome to
makes
the
sense to
show.
me.
Welcome to the show, man.
Yes. Okay. So my first story right here. So it's opening. Besides March Madness, it is opening day for baseball. Did y'all know that?
I had no idea.
Oh man, no baseball fans. Okay, so
Mm.
baseball. So baseball started. They have a long, long season ahead of them. But MLB TV, they have a streaming platform,
Mm.
and a lot of baseball fans were angry today. Approximately 21,000 baseball
Dang.
fans were upset today because the streaming service kept going down. It was doing the when Netflix showed the fight with Jake Paul, and
Mm.
yeah,
Oh,
it was doing
that was
that thing. It was doing that. So the platform has a history of having outages. So apparently it's nothing new, but they were just facing endless loading screen and playback errors. So that kind of sucks to start the season off for sure. I would be disappointed in the
that's
NBA or the
that's
NFL if they did that to us. So yeah.
Yeah, because especially with the people who, since it's a streaming software or platform, people have paid their money, right?
Uh
So it's
huh.
like, hey, I paid for the product. The
That
product
is
ain't
true.
performing.
Yeah.
I'm not pleased. So okay,
Yeah.
come on, get together, MLB, get together, get it together.
Right,
Okay.
right. So, I got this out there, just for the people that own lawns. If you have a lawn out there, Amazon is having a sale on lawn care. So if you need a Craftsman, if you need a Greenworks or Eco Power Plus brand, they got some deals out there because it's Prime Day. So, if you need to mow the lawn and get you a good lawnmower, make sure you do that. Okay, take care of your
Okay.
lawn. Stop paying people and do it yourself. How about that?
There you go.
Okay, so y'all, I don't think I have a graphic for this one, but we're
Oh,
gonna
we
do
got
it.
love in the chat. We got Darnell Scott showing big smiles, big emojis. I love me some Virginia real estate. Good evening, everyone.
Morning.
Lamar
Well,
Gordon, what up,
morning. I'm
Uncle?
sorry.
What up, producer Britt? Is what he
What's
says. What up?
up? What's up, Uncle Mar? What's up? Hey, family.
Yeah,
My
love
family's
you.
in Mexico right now. I know they're having a good time. So enjoy yourself. Okay. So my next one is that the LeBron James and the Stephen A. the beef, y'all. Y'all been
Mm,
following?
talk
Jonathan,
about
A
Cam?
it.
little bit.
Producer.
A
Oh
little
yeah,
bit,
yeah,
but
yeah.
what do you think, Cam? What do you think?
It's it's a oh man, I feel like I'm watching The Real Housewives or something,
Really? Is that how
and
catty it's been?
it's just petty. I was sitting there earlier and watching
Uh-huh.
it, and Stephen A had me cracking up because he
Mm.
put on the screen, it was like I give props to LeBron about everything. I call him a good father, a good actor, a
Uh-huh.
good, you know, and the tagline was just hilarious. It was like just handsome, all around good guy on ESPN, like first take, and I'm just like, this is getting too petty.
Oh, I
This
see
is
what you're
getting
saying.
way.
Yeah, that is very petty. That is very petty. So this all started early March when Stephen A was talking about Bronny, and then LeBron was like, "Hey, stop talking about my child." And then, claims that Stephen A was saying that Bronny only got in the league because his dad, and hey, nepotism. Because if you nepo right, then it's not a problem. It should be a problem.
That's
Like, that's
true.
his
That's true.
daddy. What else do you expect the kid to do? But I mean, whatever.
Yeah,
And then, oh, what you got? What you got?
well, I mean, I was gonna say, because this is something that we've never seen before, right?
Uh
Very,
huh.
very few
That's true.
times have we seen in history a father and son on the same team, much
Mhm.
less are playing the same sport anywhere near the same time. Ken
Mhm.
Griffey and his dad, and then you even know like Dion and Shadur. People
Mhm.
have their thoughts about Dion coming to bat for Shadur, but it's like, hey, why is it an issue? Any other
I
place you
know.
want a father to stick up for their son, and then
Mhm.
now like, I mean, Stephen A. Smith, get off the gas, bro. Just let it rock. Like,
Mm.
just leave it
Okay.
alone.
I feel like he should leave
Leave
it
it
alone
alone.
too, and then
Yeah,
he just got the $100 million contract, so maybe he thinks he's
that's what I'm.
untouchable or something.
That's what
I
I'm
don't
saying.
know.
And in my last thing on this news, did y'all see any of the interview of LeBron with Pat McAfee? Did y'all see any of that?
I didn't.
Uh,
No, I didn't. I didn't. Oh, you did. Go ahead. Y'all talk about it. What
a
happened?
little bit. A little bit. Didn't see too much, but I just saw that, and then I saw Stephen A's response to it, and I
Uh-huh.
was, he was mentioning how he didn't, he was talking about basketball, and that's what he always speaks on. He'll always
Mhm.
speak on.
Mhm.
For
He
sure.
wasn't talking about LeBron as a father or anything like
Mhm.
that.
Mhm.
I didn't dive too much into it, but
Mhm. Mhm.
yeah, it's interesting for sure.
It is interesting.
Well,
What you got, Jonathan?
Well, LeBron clapped back and he said, I feel like Stephen A. Smith is on like his Taylor Swift tour right now,
Oh
just because
yes.
he's going,
Yeah.
yeah, because he's going around, going to these different platforms, and of course,
Uh-huh.
I mean, of course, he's going to ride the wave. He's in media, he understands what he's doing, he
Uh-huh.
understands maximizing the moment, but it's just
Mhm.
like, all right, Stephen A. Smith, like let it go.
Pretty
Just let LeBron
much.
be where LeBron at, and just let them rock. Because Bronny, producer Britt, you've been talking about it.
Mhm.
Bronny has been elevating because he's been putting in the work, and it was just time. Right?
Hey,
You called it. You
I
told me
said it. I was like, he's gonna
that.
be
Man, you told me
good.
you said Bronny gonna do his thing, but it's just like, bruh, let it
Let it go.
go.
Yeah, let it
Let
go.
it go. Let it go.
I agree. I agree. And then Stephen A came back and said that LeBron was absent from D Wade's Hall of Fame
Oh my.
ceremony, and that he didn't attend. Well, he came back. He had to retract this one because he came. He said that LeBron didn't attend Kobe's memorial, and then that was false. And so Stephen A made a claim immediately that he slipping up, just saying stuff. So. You gotta
Okay.
watch what you say. You gotta watch what you say.
Okay,
Yeah.
Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah,
Okay.
so
Yeah.
I'm kind of, I'm watching it. It is like Atlanta Housewives for sure because you're like, what's gonna happen next? So I gotta see. I gotta see because it's in real time. So that's why I love sports. Love it.
Yeah, we're gonna
Yeah.
see. We're gonna see.
Okay, so my next thing here is that do you guys use ChatGPT? Anything
ChatGPT
AI?
Uh,
is my best.
It
Chat,
is my
chat, chat.
best friend. It's crazy.
Man, what's your
Okay.
feeling about ChatGPT?
what'd you say, Jonathan?
I said, what's your feeling about ChatGPT? Do you use it? Are you a frequenter of it, or not so much?
That is my personal assistant in everything. I,
That's
Smart
I
man.
funny.
asked it what I should eat the other day, and it told
Really?
me. So
Wow.
Oh wow.
everything,
Okay.
every question.
Wow. Wow, that is crazy. So do you only use ChatGPT? Do you use Claude? Do you do any other
I use a mixture for sure, but I think
okay.
that chat is OpenAI is doing such a good job with ChatGPT
Hmm.
and building their different models. So it's really like The design team, my design team uses it. I use it to build, help build out products and content and everything. It's just, it's you don't really need to go outside of ChatGPT. I feel like it really starting to do everything you need it to do.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I guess I have to dive more into ChatGPT because I use Claude. I do say that a lot. I use Claude, but I just love the name. To be honest, I love the name. But okay. So OpenAI, they just started doing ChatGPT images, image generator. So with that being said, their servers are melting because
Oh,
Cam's creative team and Cam himself, they keep they keep typing into the prompt. They keep typing all these prompts, and the generators are literally melting. The CEO came out and said they're going to have to
Mm.
implement rate limits because it's just gotten so
Mm.
bad. And keep in mind, the image generator just started this Tuesday, and
dang.
yeah. So people are really using them, but as Cam mentioned, it just shows that how many people are using it in creative ways. And now they have images, and OpenAI seems like it's a one-stop shop when it comes to AI. So stop burning their servers, but use it with moderation, y'all. Use it with moderation.
Oh man, Cam over there cooking the chat. Cam
Yeah.
cooking the chat over there.
That's funny.
Yeah, Cam.
I was gonna say no promises, Britt.
No
I'm not gonna lie.
promises. Oh, okay.
No
We're gonna need your recipe book so you just know what to eat. You don't have to ask the
there you
chat.
go.
Ask the chat. There you go. Okay. Did y'all see this today?
Mm-mm.
Derek
Mm,
Queen signs an NIL deal with Dairy Queen. Isn't that
Mm.
mm.
cool?
I
Yeah.
like that.
That's what happens when you hit
So
game winners.
I know, right? So, he is a Maryland freshman, and he signed a major NIL deal today with Dairy Queen. But he just led their score to with Colorado State. It was 72-71, and he was a leading scorer in that game. And so he's going to be promoting the Turtle Blizzard for
Mm.
the Maryland. I don't know how to say their mascot. Does it
Terrapins?
Terrapins? What is that?
Terrapin. Yeah, Maryland. It's a turtle, from my
Ah,
understanding.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
I believe
So
it's a turtle.
Turtle
Yeah,
Blizzard, turtle mascot. That's what he's
it
doing.
makes sense.
It
If it
does
makes
make
sense, it makes.
sense. Mm-hmm.
Makes sense.
So Queen, Derek Queen, not Dairy Queen, but Queen has 60,000 followers on social media, and his NIL evaluation is $863,000, which makes him a
Oh,
very valuable player. And we're gonna hear more about
Mm.
NIL with Cam here. So I'm so excited. I love to hear about NIL and how it works. It's all new to me. So I will be listening. I will be listening for sure. So that's all I got for what I saw scrolling. If you saw something scrolling and you wanted to be featured on the show, send me a DM at producer Brit. I will review it and I'll put it on the show. Jonathan, what you got?
man, we got a great show coming up, producer Britt. But before we even go into this commercial break, we got to shout out Mama Carla Turner in the chat. She said hi, Brittany,
Mama.
hi, Tim.
Hey, mama.
Mama in the chat. What up, Mama? But yeah, man, I'm excited to dive into this conversation with Cam, and just excited for our audience to even get more education around NIL. Because Cam, I know you've been an NIL coach and social media coach, and you've been you started your own marketing company. So we're gonna talk more about that. But everybody out there, make sure if you're not subscribed, subscribe down to the channel just below, and we'll be right back with more Speak Your Success. Looking for an exciting workout that's not only fun but makes you feel alive? It's time to step up your fitness. Extreme Hip Hop with Treese, that's your answer. This isn't your typical workout. Extreme Hip Hop with Treese is an energizing step workout that combines simple moves with fresh beats, both old and new, creating an atmosphere that makes fitness exciting. With a focus on all elements of fitness, cardio, muscular conditioning, flexibility, and balance, you're guaranteed to burn calories and get addicted to the energy. Extreme becomes your safe space, which is a welcome environment where everyone is accepted. It's where you can let go of those worries of the world and focus on getting healthy. Ready to get energized? Join Extreme Hip Hop with Treese today. All right, y'all. All right. Jonathan Jones here. This is Speak Your Success. Today is Today is Thursday Night Showdown, and y'all, we're here with Mr. Cam Scott. He is an NIL coach and a social media coach. Cam, my brother, glad to have you on the show. Glad we finally got the opportunity to connect because it was a little bit earlier this year. We had the opportunity to meet. We talked a little bit, and I just said I wanted to know more about you and learn more about the platform that you've built. So, Cam, once again, welcome to the show.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Jonathan. I appreciate you for having me, as well as Brett, producer Brett. Appreciate you guys, and I'm excited.
Yeah, man, for sure, for sure. So, Cam, man, let the people know where you from. Where are you from, Cam?
So I am out of Alpharetta, Georgia, and a little bit outside of Metro Atlanta. Some people call it Atlanta. Some people, it depends on who you ask. But Atlanta, Alpharetta-ish, and um, spent some time, like you mentioned earlier, in Louisiana and New Orleans, and now I'm actually about to head to Orlando. So
Okay, you about to head to Orlando? You about to move down to Orlando, or what we talking about? Take a trip to Orlando?
no, about to move, about to pack it up and get to where it's hot all the time. I can't deal with these seasons.
Georgia weather is off the chain. Hold on, wait. So what's moving you from Georgia to Orlando? Is it for business or what? We just talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I think I definitely think that's a driving reason for sure for me is the business side and just being, trying to get closer to a city that's developing and, people, Gen Z people and trying to be around people that are doing things and moving and are entering their retirement phase, but that's because that's kind of what I'm around right now is those older people in the suburbs that are golfing and stuff. I'm like, I'm not at that age yet, so I'm trying to get around younger folks.
I'm with you. I'm with you. Fair enough. Fair enough. So Cam, man, with you now being in this NIL space, and I just want to go ahead and go there. Produce Britt, I just want to go ahead and just go there. So now with you being in this NIL space, and I know that you're coaching in this space. What was the driving force for you to go and well, hold on, wait. Actually, let me slow myself down. Cam, what is NIL for those people who are out there and who don't even know what NIL is? Help the people out. What is NIL?
Absolutely. So, yeah, I actually just put a video out on this, and we been doing our kind of little spin-off of March Madness in my community. But to break it down in the simplest terms for anybody watching that's curious, is NIL is simply just an athlete's ability to make money, right? And that is in essence multiple ways. And I know that a lot of people leave it to brand deals. A lot of people, we see, Dairy Queen getting a Dairy Queen brand deal. There's multiple ways, but it's really just being able to profit off of simply your name, image, and likeness, whatever that is. Could be a business, could be brand deals, could be school direct pay, that sort of thing. So
Okay. Got you. And what was your driving force for getting into this space? Because what was the driving force for you to say, you know what, I see what's happening across collegiate athletics. They passed the legislation. What was it for you to say, let me get in this and let me help these athletes be able to truly take advantage of their brands?
yeah. So I'll tell you a little bit of background kind of on my story and where I came from and kind of how it leads into the creation of what I've been trying to build or building. Uh, so I'm not a huge fan of college education, right? I think that the the development of it has been bad, and I think that it's so focused on profit now that it's not really supporting these people in my generation that are coming in and trying to get in higher education and really develop skills that they can bring to a workforce, right? So
Mhm.
at an all-time high are people that are graduating and can't find jobs, people that are graduating and are, their CEOs are firing people, team managers are firing Gen Z at a huge rate, right? So you can't tell me that the value of a degree equals what these athletes are bringing to the table, the hours that they're putting in, the days that they're putting in. And they're not, especially when I went, it wasn't much of, I really want to set you up for life. It was more so, hey, you're playing, make sure you get your schoolwork done or stay eligible, right? That's what
Mhm.
a lot of
Mhm.
athletes hear, right? It's
Yeah.
just stay eligible. It's not about eligibility, right? That's mediocre. Find my passion as an athlete, and that's what you should be pursuing is real life. So that was the driver. Was just, I felt like college athletics was predatory, and it wasn't in the benefit for the athlete by any means, right? So that's kind of where I created, Athlete Creator Lab first, and then, created recently VidPort Sports, the management side. So Athlete Creator Lab, in essence, is simply to help support these athletes in growing their social media, developing their brands so that they
Mhm.
can find out what they want to do outside of their sport and when their sport ends, right?
Most
And
definitely.
that's kind of where I see NIL going in a sense. So that's why our our slogan for VidPort Sports is the future of athlete ownership. So that's definitely where I feel like it's headed for sure.
Most definitely. Yeah, and you just talking about athlete ownership, because I know when you were, because I'm rewinding a little bit back, because I know when you were at Xavier, that was also where you had what that was where you were also full-time student athlete, but also you had your own business as well, correct?
Yeah. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
so
Absolutely.
so talk a little bit just about that time, like while you were doing what a lot of athletes are trying to do now, right? You were competing at the highest level, but then also still seeing that there was more that you could be doing to further yourself as a brand.
Yeah. So uh, I'm and I'll kind of oh, can you hear me, John?
Yeah, I got you. You're loud and clear. Uh-huh.
Okay, awesome, awesome. Okay, there we go. So yeah, and I'll tell a bit of a story with this too. Is you know, when I was in high school was when COVID happened. Right, the beginning of COVID was like
Mm,
2020. And I remember that was my end of my sophomore or end of my junior year, I believe, somewhere around there. It's so long ago, but
sure.
um, I remember, and so my father actually got diagnosed with cancer in like 2019. So
Mm,
he, obviously he was high risk coming into COVID and wasn't able to watch a lot of my games, right? So that was a driving force to me for playing, because out of high school I knew I was like, I don't really have a love for basketball like a
mm,
lot of these players do. And I'm good at it. I enjoy it. I do love it. I just don't, it's a job when you get to that stage, right? So I, contemplating for a while, I decided to pursue it. So hopefully my dad could see me play live again, because he was watching live streams. So
oh wow.
that was part of the reason, right? And then I had got there, and it was overwhelming, right? I say this to my community all the time, is I chose the wrong business model. I,
Oh,
undoubtedly I chose the wrong business model, because
okay.
it the struggle, and it was week one. Like I got down for summer, and I'm thinking, okay, we're probably gonna work out a couple hours a day, and I'll be able to enjoy New Orleans in
Mm,
the other 22 hours, right? And
mm.
that first official day was, I think it was like 6 to 8 hours long, and I was like,
Oh,
yo,
okay.
this is crazy. I was like, I don't know, we were in the gym for like 4 or 5 hours, and it was just, I don't, at that point, I was like, I don't know how I'm supposed to coordinate recording sessions or
Mm,
coordinate meetings with clients and with my team and things like that when I got, and there was no structure to it, right? It was, hey,
uh,
film at 9, film at 6, or, you know, we'll have walkthroughs at 10 a.m. And I was just like, man, this is a headache for sure.
Man, okay. So you created the so you created the wrong business model, and you learned this
Yeah.
very, very, very early. And so just thinking about that then, and then now fast forward a little bit, just in time, like for the athlete out there now, right? And you said you created the wrong business model. I'm just curious, what would be an ideal business model that you could that if you were talking to your younger self who was competing, like what insight would you give them before they got started in this world of NIL, right? As they're looking at all these opportunities, all these agents, all these potential brand deals on the table. What word of advice would you give to your younger self, knowing what you know now?
Yeah. Oof, that's a loaded question.
Take your time,
I
man.
would
Take
definitely
your
I
time.
would definitely tell I would tell my I would tell Cam Scott in 2021 that develop yourself, find what you're interested in outside, try to spend some time outside of basketball, and really try to dive into what you're interested in and what you love to do, and then find people online that align with that, right? And then that opens the door to so many different things like this community. I'll give you an example. We had a dude I've been working with for a few months, and he built out he's huge into mindfulness and personal development. So he started a community for himself, right? And he's in the transfer portal now, but he played at Coastal Carolina last year, and you know, just stuff like that, right? That's a business model you can take anywhere with you. It doesn't require client meetings all the time. You get to kind of pick and choose, your schedule and your freedom, but something like that, right? That would be the advice I would give, is just find the people that align with you and your interest, and you know flourish with them, connect with them, build a family, build a connection and a relationship.
For sure, for sure. Okay, so I know we're speaking a little bit about your community, and so how do you help your athletes that are in your community? How do you help them translate their on-field personality to their content strategy?
mm, I think it's a recipe of kind of catching you candid. Like, people, people try to be too structured and too scripted all the time. Like, just set the
Mm,
camera up and just record. You can, if you gotta bleep out some curse words you said in the locker room, cool. But like, just getting you in your natural element, interacting with with your teammates, and saying all the funny jokes and stories, that's part of it, right? That's what people really want to see, is that.
uh,
So that's definitely how I would go about it, for sure.
okay, so keep it candid, keep it controversial, keep no, not controversial, keep it candid and
Eh,
uncontroversial. Yeah, we don't want to go controversial, right? We don't want to go controversial. But okay, and just thinking about that, like, because I know I said controversial, but one of the biggest things that we always see is talking about like partnerships and different things like that. And of course, you wouldn't want to be controversial trying to get a partnership. So what do brands currently look for, like when they're looking at collegiate athletes for sponsorships? Because I know for partnerships, 'cause I know you work with multiple athletes within your community.
yeah. Truthfully, they look for alignment, right? And this is a huge misconception in the whole NIL industry, is that um, you know, posting your content, you need to have intention behind posting your content, and you need to know who it's for, right? Like, you need to know exactly who you want watching this video. And I think that that's a fault in a lot of athletes that try to make content and create content, is you don't know your audience. And I think that's what brands are looking for. And if you can find, because there's a difference between awareness and conversions, right? And
Mm, mhm,
brands want both. Brands want both. And what I tell them is, unless you're a kid like, Derek Queen, right?
for
Britt
sure.
was saying earlier, 60 something thousand followers. That's a lot of eyes that the Derek Queen's gonna get,
For sure.
right? So yeah, they'll pay, right? But how many of Derek Queen's followers eat at Dairy Queen or like ice cream, right? You don't know that.
That's true.
You don't know that. So that's too. It's a double edged sword of, like, okay, well, they want awareness, which is
Uh-huh.
virality, right? How
That's
many eyes can you get me in front of? But then they also want, to build loyal customers, loyal followers for their brands. So that side of it is okay, I really need to know what my brand is about, who's following
Mhm.
me, what my target audience is, and what they enjoy doing, that sort of thing. So that's really a lot of what we try to focus on is, especially for the smaller athlete creators, as I call them. So
Fair enough, man. Cam, that's good, man. Cam, you cooking over there? Cam, you cooking? And then everybody out there watching, when we come back with Cam, we will be diving in and talk about the 3 phases to follow for NIL deals. Here with Cam Scott, we're on Speaker Success, and we'll be right back. Do you want to feel confident in your skin every day? Introducing Skin Rituals, a luxury home-based skin studio that specializes in hyperpigmentation, acne, and personalized treatments for every skin type. Owned by solo esthetician and registered nurse Courtney Durham, Skin Rituals is all about curating facial treatments designed just for you. Hydrate, brighten, nourish, and soothe your skin with expert care and cutting-edge techniques that promote natural healing. Whether you're looking for a relaxing facial or a transformative chemical peel, Skin Rituals offers results driven treatment tailored to your needs. With over 7 years of experience, Courtney's goal is to help you safely achieve the healthy skin that you deserve. At Skin Rituals, we believe that taking care of your skin is an investment in your confidence. Book your appointment today and leave every session feeling grateful for the choice that you made to take care of yourself. Skin Rituals, because your skin deserves the very best. All right, all right, all right. Welcome back to Speaker Success. Today is Thursday Night Showdown, and y'all know every Thursday we're going head to head about another engaging topic. And just want to remind you all that next week, Speaker Success is going to be coming to you bright and early at 6 a.m. to kick your morning off the right way. Okay, so remember, go ahead, set your reminders just so you'll be ready for us next week. And family, we're about to go ahead and dive back in. We're here with Cam Scott. He is an NIL and social media coach. So now, Cam, what we're talking about, you were just saying that brands need to know the difference between awareness and conversion, which is a really, really great point that more brands need to consider and be aware of. So thanks for giving us that gem. But now, Cam, I want to dive into something that that you've created with these 3 phases, right? To help these athletes go for the 3 phases to help athletes go from followers to NIL deals. Cam, I'm gonna kick you the mic because I just want to hear from you on this one.
man, and this is deep right here. Like there's levels to this, right?
Okay.
So I try to simplify as much as possible. But truly, you know, over my time, kind of just diving into marketing and seeing what it is and trying to dissect it, especially for athletes, the 3 phases is, and this is when you come into Athlete Creator Lab and you join, these are the phases you go to or go
Mm,
through, right? And this part, phase one, brand foundation, is huge, right? That's kind of just, that's the brick you lay your house on, right? That is the concrete that you pour, and that obviously being the foundation is extremely important. And then you have the expand, your reach, right? Which is really where you begin growing, right? That's kind of the growth phase, the expansion phase, and then phase three, which is just monetizing your influence. So diving into like phase one is really, like we touched on earlier, is understanding who you are, right? What makes you unique, and how we can translate that into an online presence, right? Um,
mhm,
and in that process is a lot of self reflection, a lot of really understanding how you tick as a person, your values, your interests, your skills. That's actually the formula we use is skills, interest, and values, and that equals your brand. Because in that next phase, you understand, kind of as you expand your influence, when you're talking about the strategies, when you're talking about the frameworks, you know what you're creating content around, you know why you're creating content, and that allows you to create a story, right? And then the
mm,
expand your reach is the phase that you really dive into your content creation ability and your ability to tell a story, your ability to, make a viral reel or make a reel that gets seen by your audience. And that's when you really get to begin the connection with your audience. So in that phase is a lot of things that athletes skip, right? Like their phase one, a lot of people don't speak about because it's simply, hey, make a day in the life. It's deeper than that, right? Unless you're a player like Juju Watkins or like, a Cooper Flag,
For sure.
most people aren't going to want to watch your day in the lives unless you're extremely successful in your sport, which 99.9% of athletes aren't, right? And
Oh,
truthfully,
smart.
kind of building out that foundation is, understanding what they're coming to you for, right? Why are people following you? Are you funny? Are you insightful? All right.
Mm,
Do you, make people laugh? Do you make people smile? Do you make people cry? Do you make people feel motivated? All right. These are all things that we kind of in phase one, we define. And then expanding your reach is aligning, right? Understanding the type of content that these people want to see. All right. A
mm,
lot of, uh, you know, you got certain, I'll give you an example. You got certain audiences that, and I'm in that process too as well, right? Trying to hop into this new industry and target athletes. I got to understand athletes, right? Where they're spending their time.
yeah.
I'm not gonna pay Kai Cenat $5 million to get featured on his Twitch stream, right? Even though I know
Oh,
most of my athletes probably watch him. You know what I mean?
man.
But it's like, all
Ooh,
right, well, how can I get there to them without, breaking the bank? So it's really about aligning your with your audience in that phase. And then monetizing your influence is a huge phase. And that is where we not only dive into, hey, chase your NIL deals, but
uh,
also start an online business, right? Start a podcast, start things that you can monetize that are bigger than deals, right? Which comes back to the ownership side, which is it's a lot easier, it's a lot harder for someone to take something that your name is on than it is
mm,
for someone to end a deal with you, because they didn't like how you moved after a game, or different situations, right? You never know. And ownership is really where wealth is built, which athletes have a lack of that. So that's really
man.
what we're trying to dive into is, and the thing I want to clear up too is when you build your online business or you build your podcast, you don't have, or whatever avenue you choose, you don't have to get away from brand deals either, right? Like
Mm,
the brand deals still come. And that's where I think that, people really need to start kind of reframing their mindset is like, okay, well, if I try to build a program or a community or a product or a clothing brand that I own, I can still go out and get deals. Like they don't stop, and you're making content for that, but you're also making content for the brand deals. So, it's kind of a two-way street that there's so many possibilities in it. There's so many possibilities.
oh, producer Britt, you muted. You muted. I know you about to come with
Sorry,
that
I was
fire.
about to go into it
Yeah.
too. So,
Yeah.
a while ago, Jonathan and I interviewed University of Texas, and he had a bunch of NIL deals. Now
Uh-huh.
he talked about being in a portal. Do you put your athletes through that as well? Is that how NIL works, or what is the portal? The NIL
Yeah,
portal?
I was gonna ask the you're not talking about the transfer portal, or you when he
Or the
said portal.
platform, the NIL platform that the athletes have to like, is that real that they have to sign on to get NIL deals? There's more than one way to get an NIL deal. Something like that.
Okay. I think so like a marketplace kind of thing where
Yes, yes,
uh,
yes, exactly. Okay.
yeah. So I definitely think that there's a lot of marketplaces, and
Hmm.
I do think they're successful. A lot of our athletes get deals off of them too, which is great.
Hmm.
Again, I think that it's also too, the problem is that there's so many athletes trying to do it that the brands and the businesses don't necessarily match the level of athletes that are trying to
Gotcha.
do it.
That yeah, and
Does that
that's
make
what I was hearing through when we interviewed him that you could just go on there or go through there to get these deals, but they might not match your brand foundation, how you have here. And
Mhm.
whereas, you pick and choose the right thing that works best for you through your
Yeah.
service. Okay, gotcha. Okay, I
Yeah.
just wanted to know that.
Yeah, well, Cam, as you're talking about the monetize your influence, I saw on your IG page where you did a stitch where it was 19 keys interviewing Jaylen Brown from the Boston
Mhm.
Celtics, and then you were talking about the difference between your platform being for rent and then you having ownership. Can you just expound a little bit on that? Because I know it was like a 60-second clip, but I was like, I want to hear him talk a little bit more about renting versus the ownership of their own platform.
Yeah, yeah, and I was actually thinking about making a YouTube video on this. So the difference, and one of the very first things I learned in marketing was owning your audience, and that was a huge. It was a moment where I was like, okay, what does that mean? That doesn't make any sense,
Mhm.
right? And then they explain it, they dive deeper, and it's like, okay, owning your audience is simply having direct access. No, there's no noise in between you and your audience, right? There's no, Instagram can't shut your page down and you no longer can talk to your followers. All right,
For sure.
things like that, that's noise, and that's renting your audience, is having them for a second or a period of time or something like that. And where our athletes fall short at is they don't think that there's a time limit on NIL. And I
Mm,
know it's tough. It is tough, right?
yeah,
You're trying to
yeah,
tell the 18-year-old, a 19-year-old, hey, this money doesn't last forever. All right.
yeah,
You're trying to,
yeah.
truthfully, you gave me 800 something $1,000 in at 18. I was probably, it would
It's
probably be
gone.
gone in a year or something. So I can't imagine that it's easy, right? But this is where the discipline side comes in, and just the trust and the faith, right? No one's saying save all your money or anything like that, but owning your audience is simply being able to have something that outlasts you, and that's where wealth is built. So you can, oh, and even with the video of Jaylen Brown, right?
Mhm.
You saw Jaylen Brown, and I mentioned in the video how Jaylen Brown wasn't, like, so many teams passed over Jaylen Brown because they said he was too smart, right?
Yeah,
And I'm sure a lot of brands passed on brand deals with him because he was too smart, right?
that's
And
good.
knew his value and his worth too much, and that's
Yeah.
dangerous. But at the same time, what does he do? He goes out and starts his own clothing brand. He goes out
Uh-huh.
and starts his own, and that's where it needs to go, is ownership versus, you know seeing the difference, because it's a huge difference, Jonathan. Like, I and that's why I hate to see it, especially with athletes, is, the reason why. I mean, and I know this might be controversial, obviously, but with the Kanye situation, right, when he made those comments, he lost, like, his billionaire status in a day.
Uh-huh.
And people were looking at it like, oh, he said crazy stuff. I was looking at it like he didn't own anything that he had. None of that. That was all contracts. All right.
Man.
And you're like, okay, what does that mean? It means that no one, truthfully, you can lose clients, but you can't lose the worth that you've built of that business, right? So if he
Yeah.
owned Yeezy, which he does now, but if he owned it, Adidas couldn't fire him. All right. They couldn't fire him because people are still buying it. People still wear Yeezys, right? There's people still wear Yeezys
Right. No, no, no.
and still wear his clothes.
People are definitely still people are definitely still wearing Yeezys, and a lot of people could even look at what Kanye did, like, as a potential as a potential missed opportunity with, like, the moment that he had and everything like that. But like thinking about that, one of the questions I got for you is just like, what would you say are some of the biggest missed opportunities that you see with college athletes in terms of, like, social strategies, like where are they missing the mark?
Yeah, I think that they're missing the mark in the relatability of their content. So, uh, 80% of athletes post highlights or post fit pictures of their outfits or photo dumps, right? And there's
Really?
nothing wrong with it. Nothing
Yeah,
wrong
yeah.
with it, but that's the best of the best, right? You're gonna put the pictures that you look the best in. You're gonna put the highlights. You're not gonna put you missing layups in there for sure, right? And I'm
Yeah.
not saying I'm not saying throw, I'm not saying throw that in the content, but just showing the sides of you, all sides of you, right? And that's, I think, an athlete that can get over that hurdle will see a
Mhm.
lot of success in NIL and their social media as a whole. I think anybody that can, right, is showing that intimate. And it doesn't have to be too intimate, right? You don't need to tell the world what you got going on, but just share a little bit more, right?
We need to see them authentic. Like, I mean, yeah, it's one thing for you to show the fit check and you going out, but we want to see you, like you talked about it earlier. Like we want to see you just like just some natural emotion, like some real conversation. Yeah, well, that's
Yep.
what we need to see. You know what it's like, Cam, being in the locker room and stuff. Like that's what we want to hear from y'all athletes out there. Like let us see the real you.
I
Huh.
wish I would have vlogged it. I wish I would have vlogged it. It would have been,
Uh,
man, it would have been
Man,
so funny.
you would have been up. I mean, you up now, but you would have been up.
Up, up. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So I mean, so Cam, I mean, just with seeing with like where you are now with the Athlete Creator Lab, like when did you? Because I know you started your first business. I saw a post that you put out, and you were talking about like all the previous businesses that you started. When did you first start? When did you first start your first business? And then when did you start Athlete Creator Lab? Because I know there was some time in between that. I just want to hear from you on that.
Yeah. So I started VidPort Media in 2017,
Okay.
and I was, ooh, man, quick math. We're here. I think it was like, I think it was like 14, 13,
I'm
something
about to
like
say, I think
that.
I think I saw it say like 2011 or something like that on the post. I think that's what I saw for your first bit. I feel like I saw like 2011 or 2014. It was one of them two.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah. Crazy young, but and I always kept that business going, but it wasn't, obviously, when you say business, there's phases to growth, and then it was, when I say business, it was me, right, up until
sure.
probably like the last 4 or 5 years is when I started having other people in there. But up to that point, it was always the marketing company, and it was, YouTube was a big thing back then, and reaction videos and everything
Yeah.
like that. So that's kind of where it started, and then I wanted to dive into a bunch of different things, and didn't nothing really spoke to me until I realized kind of my story, and I was like, this is yeah, somebody needs to be in this business and needs to be supporting these athletes, and hopefully impacting their lives in a positive way. Not saying that people were impacting mine in a negative way, but it wasn't as good as it could be.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I get it. Well, how can for one, what do you do with Vid Sports? Like, can you talk a little bit more about that? Just so the athletes out there and the leaders that want to get in touch with you and could benefit from your service. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I'm extremely excited about VidPort Sports, and this coming into this kind of wave of athlete ownership. We
Mhm.
have three kind of service offerings to the market, and number one, obviously, your traditional management and marketing services, where we help build your brand, right? One on one, our team and the athlete, we build your brand. Then you got Athlete Creator Lab, right, which is our service offering, which is an educational platform, a coaching
Mhm.
platform. It's less hands-on and more informational. So it kind of is a meet you where you are kind of platform.
I
And
like.
then also inside of that, you get to connect, collaborate with other athletes, with uh, you know, our partners we partner with for Athlete Creator Lab, and it's just here to support you if you're not ready for that management and marketing side. And
Okay.
then the part I'm really excited about is what we launched is the VidPort Venture Studio. So
Okay.
quick rundown of the VidPort Venture Studio is we're co-building businesses with our athletes.
Oh,
right?
wow.
And that's where it's extremely exciting. It's extremely exciting because our athletes have so many great ideas and so
Mhm.
many things they want to build, right? They don't have the knowledge, they don't have the expertise or the resources. So to teaming partners, to every athletes that have a business idea and want to launch it, whatever, get in contact with VidPort Sports, and we will work something out where we can co-build your business with you. And whether it's you need capital to start off, whether you
Mhm.
need build out a business plan, whatever that thing that you feel like you're missing, or whether you want to get started, right? That's what VidPort Venture Studio is for.
Oh my goodness. Cam, y'all out here solving, y'all out here really solving like major problems, because I mean there's been gaps so long in these spaces, and just with what you all are doing with VidPort Sports and with VidPort Ventures, that is awesome, man. Well, Cam, please let our audience know where they can find you, follow you. If they want to get in touch with you, please take your time.
Absolutely, absolutely. So my main Instagram is it's Cam Scott. It's Cam Scott on Instagram, also on Twitter. It's Cam Scott and YouTube, but there's a period between the it's and the Cam Scott. And then also the companies, VidPort Sports on Instagram, and then also Athlete Creator Lab on Instagram as well. I'm really about value, so even if you don't end up working with me or working with us, VidPort Sports and Athlete Creator Lab, as well as my personal page, there's a lot of value on there. Whether you love business, entrepreneurship, NIL, social media,
Yeah,
you'll learn something. You'll learn
most
something.
Yeah, most definitely, man. Cam, I can attest that you do put value on your page, because that was how I found you. I was like, who is this dude? And I started looking at the content. I'm like, quality content, really giving away some great game. So, man, thank you for what you do for the athlete community, but also thank you for coming on Speak Your Success. We appreciate you, and man, we'll have to do this again sometime.
Awesome, man. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you. Thank you,
Yes,
Jonathan. Thank you,
thank
Britt.
you. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I learned some. I learned a lot actually because I didn't know that much about NIL. And just to know that they can go through you to do everything, one stop shop. That's great.
Trying, trying,
Yeah, that's
trying. Make
great.
way.
Okay,
Amen.
Jonathan, we'll get into your final thought.
All right, here we go. Family out there, I hope you took something away. I hope you had your notepad. I hope you had your iPad. I hope you had something just to get some gems. But tonight, I just want you to take this away, right? Don't allow people to confine you to doing what everybody else is doing. Y'all heard Cam say that they're partnering with athletes to help them take their ideas and their creations and their businesses to the next level. So just know that if you have an idea, there's somebody out there you can partner with to really get it done and make it happen. But family, until next time, this is Speak Your Success. I'm Jonathan Jones. That's producer Britt. And remember, speak your success, believe in your greatness, and continue to create the life and business of your dreams. Why would you and why should you live any other